The best on the market just got better. Or worse, depending on who you are. Welcome back to the Skilled Builders Guild. Thanks again for watching. Today we're taking a first look, run, and review of the new-ish Vanquish VS4-10 Phoenix Straight Axle Edition. This is it right here. This is with new F10 straight axles. And that's the major difference between it and the previous Phoenix that was released last year. Now, I still think, here we are almost a year later since the original Phoenix came out, I still think this is the best kit on the market. Top of the charts, Belle Biv DeVoe. This truck is fantastic. It carries over all of the same features of the Phoenix with portals, just in a straighter axle version. Now, a portal, I'm sure you know by now, is an axle that has another set of gears on the end of the actual axle that adds a lot of ground clearance, and that seems to be something that people are very hung up on. They need that ground clearance. I'm not always in that camp though. I do like a straight axle. It's more realistic because more vehicles out there have them. And I also appreciate a good challenge, and a straight axle offers that. It also offers a lower overall center of gravity, which can be helpful in a lot of cases. This Vanquish VS4-10 Phoenix Straight Axle F10 edition does have all of the same inner components of the original Phoenix, so you still get that massive overdrive option of 40+% overdrive. It's a good thing I wasn't in charge of the math, because I would have been even more off than they were. You still get the option for selectable overdrive, selectable dig. You can even make it a two-wheel drive, rear-wheel drive if you wanted. There are a lot of options, and that's what I think this truck really shines. You get the exact same body kit. There's literally no differences except for what's underneath, and that is this great set of straight axles. I've put together a number of Phoenixes now, and it just keeps getting better and better every single time. You will notice I am not using the stock wheels or tires. They're not that great. And I think they include them as a courtesy. Ultimately though, construction of those straight axles is very straightforward. Shocker. It's really super easy to put them together, but it's a great looking set of axles. It really does complement this body, and I think having it sit a little bit lower than the portal version also makes it look a little bit better. There are more advantages. It's a much more streamlined truck in my opinion. I think it just looks so much better without those portal axles. I've opted to go with a DeWalt theme for this truck. Yeah, I made it look just like the driver that I use pretty much every day. The Gyro 8V from DeWalt, an excellent tool and an excellent paint scheme. It's yeah, it's about as close as I could get it, I thought. Did this with the On Point paint collection that I have. I think it turned out pretty cool. I really like the flatted out rooftop and the angled sort of bits there, just to kind of mimic the tool itself. Same great cage in the rear. You can see the paint job carries through to the rear portion there too. And we're gonna get it on the rocks and see how it performs with this straight axle. I've set up the interior much the same way, using a Tamiya Bruiser driver. When James Knight from Knight Customs designed this interior, he designed it with that driver in mind. So get out your paint kit, paint one of these up. They look fantastic in there. And I think really completes the look of the truck overall. I also put in a couple of Q-Series LEDs from Vanquish that I had in my spare parts bin. They are wicked bright. So bright that they can melt your face off. So I don't recommend looking into them directly. All right, what else can we talk about? 90mm shocks on this kit instead of the 80s that are included with the portals. I think these S8E shocks are fantastic. I have had no trouble with leakage, and now that Vanquish includes a much more appropriate shock collar, you can actually thread these onto the shocks quite easily. I didn't have a big problem with the first round, but I could see how some people would get tripped up with it, so it's really nice to see Vanquish step up, realize there was an issue, and fix it nearly immediately. and send them out to whomever asked for them, which I think is pretty cool. The body mounts in exactly the same way as the original Phoenix, that nice post to the front, and 2 body clips hidden underneath the rear. Very easy to remove this body, and yeah, I do have the Q series connected, so let's just remove that really quickly here, and we'll get the body off completely. All right, there we go. For this round, I decided to go with a much simpler approach. I do appreciate simple trucks, and while I do appreciate the features of the original Phoenix and this Phoenix with the selectable overdrive and the selectable dig, I did want to kind of go simpler. I didn't include any of the shifting servos, so the overdrive and the dig are both locked in their respective positions. Overdrive gets 6.5% locked in, and that's one of the great features of the VFD transmission, is that you can choose to not use any of these electronics if you don't want to. I've got it all mounted up and ready to go in case I do want to add that servo for shifting, but decided to keep it clean. Same thing with the dig. You can choose to have that dig in a locked rear axle, which would be the dig. You can also have it in rear-wheel drive only, or you can have it four-wheel drive, and I've decided to leave it in four-wheel drive as well. For electronics, I'm using a Castle Copperhead 10 paired with a 2850 censored slate brushless motor. Powering the steering is a Reefs RC 888. That 888 will offer 640 ounce-inches of torque at 12 volts. It's still going to have plenty of torque at my very conservative battery choice. It is a direct wire servo, so you only plug it into the receiver for signal, and power goes to a JST, which I've added to my XT60. Nice little setup. Much lighter truck when you decide not to add all of those other shifting servos. The transmission stays the same as it would be built if you were using those servos, so you aren't really losing anything or gaining anything there. But it does make this a much lighter truck, just doing away with 2 servos, believe it or not. Other than that, it is exactly the same as the original Phoenix. You are really just gaining a straight axle, or in some people's cases, losing ground clearance. 6 of one, half dozen of the other. There are advantages to both, and there are disadvantages to both as well. It's really a personal preference, and my personal preference is a straight axle. Plus, I just think that F10 axle looks so good. They still include the machined aluminum oil cap, which I think is a really cool feature. It's a small thing, but it's a big thing for me. And there is so much bracing in that axle that it's going to stand up to a fair bit of abuse. I'm really excited to put it through its paces. Some of that unsprung weight savings is definitely going to be in the axles. There are fewer moving parts, fewer gears, fewer things that weigh stuff that aren't there. They don't take up any space or any weight, so there's definitely a weight savings in the axles as well. I will say that this is probably my 3rd, maybe even my 4th Phoenix that I've put together, and this one is the smoothest one I've ever built. So I don't know if I've done something different, or I've just gotten better, or the tolerances have gotten better over time, but this truck went together beautifully. There are a few minor differences in the transmission. There are aluminum bearing plates in there now. I think you only got those in the Pro. The Phoenix original Portal kit didn't include them. This one does include them, so there is some strength there in the transmission. It's nice to see that upgrade. In addition to the S8E shocks, they also include a few options for tuning these shocks. There are some additional rod ends available. Some are included, some are coming soon, that also allow you to adjust the overall height of the shock. Can be good to have some extra tuning options, so it's good to see that as well. And finally, the only other change is a new design for the steering link and the panhard link. They've just ever so slightly altered the design of this. There are a couple spacers now, so you can adjust for toe in or toe out. It's nice that they did that. And the same thing with the panhard. Just a little extra adjustment will make you have options for adjustment. Other than that, very much the same truck, and very much a proven truck. I really honestly think it's probably the best kit you can put your money into today. And this option for a straight axle version only makes me feel even better about that. I do hope that Vanquish will offer these axles as a separate add-on so you can upgrade, yes, I said upgrade, your original Phoenix portal axle truck to the straight axle kit as well. I think that would be really nice to see. I'm sure that they will do that. I'm pretty pleased with how my paint job turned out. Just a couple of quick masks and some noodling onto how to get it all to come out and look like the actual tool. But I'm pleased with the results. If you are interested in getting one of these, I will make sure there is a link down below where you can pick one up for yourself. Of course, there's a little incentive for me to have you click that link. Helps support this channel and keep bringing you excellent content just like this video. And if you are enjoying this video and you like seeing new trucks with weird paint jobs, hit the like button, subscribe if you haven't already, and ring that notification bell so you get updates anytime there's a new video from the Scale Builders Guild. All right, let's go outside. So all in all, I think it's a really excellent kit. I'm loving that it's a straight axle kit as well. I'm kind of thinking, in my mind, it would have been smart to go straight axle first and then portal axle. But hey, that's why I don't work there. I just like the products at Vanquish Products. I think that's going to do it. Thank you so much for watching. And thanks to Vanquish for sending me a pre-release of the Vanquish VS4-10 Phoenix straight axle version. It's been a blast, and I absolutely love this truck. I think that's pretty much all you need to say about it. Thanks so much for watching. See you again soon.